Hello, and welcome back to Scars of Disorder, our little Avatar Legends campaign that we do here with the Dustfire Media fam. How are y'all
Is
doing?
that what you all are to me? Huh?
What?
What? Who are
Really?
you people?
I don't. So, anyways, how are y'all doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm all right. I had a fever this weekend, hence why I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons with us. Doing all right now. Doing okay.
Heck yeah. Sometimes with fevers, you just gotta take some meds and sit in them, and it just.
It's literally what I did. I was just Dayquil, NyQuil, and I laid in bed for an entire weekend. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most effective remedies is just rest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the remedy to
It's
most
probably the remedy for most,
common illnesses is just rest.
Yeah, unless you're bleeding out or something.
That's why I said common illnesses. Like, yeah, if your leg is cut off, rest is not gonna.
Yeah.
Probably kill you.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to do. Drowning,
don't go to sleep if you're something's bleeding or you're in the snow. That's when not to rest.
Concussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fall asleep, please.
Now that we say it, there's a lot of illnesses that you shouldn't rest.
Oh, speaking of this very uplifting thing that we're talking about, I actually had a banter question that I was just thinking about kind of all day. Okay. Just something for myself. I was thinking of what's the first piece of entertainment media that made me cry. And I think it was probably because of Winn-Dixie. The movie with I think it's Dakota Fanning.
The dog.
It was because of Winn-Dixie?
It was because of Winn-Dixie.
Winn-Dixie made you cry?
Winn-Dixie made me cry. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Super Center.
What's that?
The grocery store. Winn-Dixie. Isn't it a grocery store?
I've never watched that movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's about a dog. It's a dog movie. So it was either that dog movie or this book called A Child Called It. But I forget which one I watched or read first. It was one of those two for me. But what about y'all?
It does not take a lot for me to cry at media.
And I appreciate that about you.
It might have been Toy Story.
Might
have been Toy Story.
The first one?
Oh yeah, the first time I watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah. Do you remember what part?
That makes sense.
Probably the moment when you think that Andy's leaving Woody and Buzz behind.
No. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. And then you're a kid too. And
you're a kid and you're just all up in it. But here's the question too. Is there's crying because of the emotions, and then there's crying out of fear.
Yeah.
Crying because of the emotions, I think, is what I'm addressing.
I was also scared about a lot of things as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Brave Little Toaster made me cry because I was
terrified of
the movie. Yes. The furnace is terrifying in that
Brave Little Toaster?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you look into it, the furnace was if he was a human being, he was an adult man who was having a heart attack.
Oh my gosh. That's
why
now that would make me cry from the emotion. But when I was a kid, I'm this is just scary.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
What? I've never heard of the Brave Little Toaster.
You've never heard? Oh, it's a classic.
It's a Disney.
That is.
There's a Disney cartoon I've never heard of. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Disney, but it's definitely it's definitely a good one. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's in that era.
It's like American Tail. You know what I mean? You remember that?
I was literally just about to say Five Goes West.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
That movie's sad.
Or The Secret of Nymph. You remember that? You guys ever seen that?
I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen it. Yeah.
I cried at The Land Before Time. I cried during that.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Land Before Time.
Yeah, like the first 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at the end,
it's just, yeah.
whole
They
movie.
were definitely trying to make us cry.
We've got a special guest in the chat right now.
Oh. Here, let me see. I said "oh" preemptively before looking. Oh,
It's a Gus.
is this a Gus?
It's a
Oh,
Gus.
hey,
Gus said cats don't dance. I agree.
I love it.
That's like one of those movies I can picture the art, but I never saw. But I feel like it was within that like era.
For those unaware, Gus played the beloved waterbender Amuk in our Relics of the New Republic campaign.
On our second campaign.
How's it going, Gus?
Yeah.
I miss you.
Yeah.
Wow. Cats Don't Dance is a good one.
What's the most recent? And Will Jenkins is in here as well
Jenkins?
too. What is
This is
happening in
crazy.
chat right now? What?
How's it going, Jenkins? What the?
We gotta have you back on. Both of you need to come back on. What are you doing? What are you doing on that side of the chat and not on this side?
This is crazy.
Oh,
Wow.
That's even funnier. Will is in YouTube and Gus is in Discord. That's
So it wasn't coordinated. Wow, that's crazy.
That's even
hilarious.
funnier. That's much fun.
I also want to address another thing. Sam, are you here?
I think he'll turn his camera on.
All right, I'll turn his camera on. Okay, sounds good.
What's the most recent thing that made you cry?
The most recent piece of entertainment media that made us cry?
Correct. Yes.
I want to make sure I narrow it down to entertainment media because I say, what's the last thing that made you cry?
Yeah.
I don't want to dip into anything that someone doesn't want to talk about. So the last piece
for sure.
The last piece of entertainment media that made me cry.
Oh, I know. Well, to answer the first question, though, when I was a kid, the movie that made me cry and feel a lot of things was Homeward Bound. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
for
when
sure.
Sassy falls off the log and down the waterfall, like that caused. I feel like that's when all my problems started, honestly, like with anxiety and stuff, because that freaked me out so much. I was feeling so much. I remember that was the first time like I felt hot, like my body temperature got like hot as I was watching it. So like, and I was really concerned, and like I just started crying.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons. And then the recent thing that I cried of, I didn't watch Andor when it first came out, and now I'm watching it. So I just finished the first
I gotta watch
season.
that.
Yeah, finished the first season without giving anything away. I did cry a few times during that show.
Yeah, that's good. For Justin's question, I think probably the last piece of entertainment that made me cry, I think, was I finally watched the first episode of the newest season of Black Mirror. And
oh my gosh,
dreadful.
So messed up.
That was, oh my god. I was like, this is, like, oh my goodness.
that was something. That was a lot. That first episode was a lot.
Yeah.
I told you it was really good, right?
You did. Yeah.
I told you it was very good.
Oh my goodness.
I watched a Novocaine the other night.
I love Novocaine.
It was so good. It was very surprising, but there was a really like strong emotional core, I felt like.
Yes.
That surprised me from what I thought was just going to be like a goofy action movie.
No, yeah.
And I really felt myself feeling for that character a lot.
Mm-hmm. I really liked it. At first I thought it was just gonna be like just adrenaline, but then I watched it, I was like, oh wow, I just love that actor too. I think he's great. Yes,
Jack Quaid was great. It's very squeamish though. If you're if you can't handle like body violence, I would definitely avoid watching Novocaine.
Yeah, it's a rated R action movie about a man who has a condition where he cannot feel pain, hot or cold.
Yeah,
so you can only imagine where the writers and directors go with that.
The ways in which he kills people are like, that's insane. That's crazy.
Oh my god. So, the ending. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about it, but the ending fight scene, the end of the last fight scene, insane.
Yeah. It's
super creative. Yeah.
It's good. It's good time.
I really want to hear Sam's answers, and he was here for a split second.
He was here for a moment.
That's
what
really
else
funny.
makes me cry?
I think it's really funny. Jinkies said that he cried over the new Oregon Trail game.
Oh,
do you mean
there's
like
a
the
new
board
one?
game, or is there not a board game? I'm confused.
Did they like remaster Oregon Trail recently?
There's a card game.
Yes, yeah, there's a
I knew
card
about
game.
the card
Yeah.
game. I'm looking this up. That they remastered.
I feel like I would cry. So Sam, we're asking, what's the first piece of entertainment media that made you cry as a child, and what's the very last thing that made you cry like recently? Piece of entertainment media. Lay it all out on the table in front of us, Sam.
I mean, I think I've said already, I wasn't allowed to watch television.
Yeah, maybe like books.
It was
songs even.
The Giver.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that is a good one.
Like
that is, I feel like one of the first books that I was like, oh, I'm like feeling something, and I'm not. It's complicated. I'm not entirely sure what it is. There's a lot of things I'm feeling. That's a good book.
It broke me down. I got mad at my mom because she recommended it to me, and I was like, "Why would you give this to me?"
Wow.
Like the Lottery. Everyone recommending reading the short story of The Lottery, and you're like,
that's messed up.
Why?
That's a messed up one.
Why would you suggest that?
And what's the last thing that made you cry, Sam? Piece of entertainment media, not just anything.
I'm really trying to remember. So, I'm not gonna lie. Like the last thing that made me cry was either my kids or my wife. Those are the main things. So I feel like entertainment media. I don't know if I've been affected in that way for a while. That makes me sound dead inside. I'm not dead inside. I'm a human being. I've got blood pumping through my veins. I care and have compassion. What? But I'm not sure. Let's go with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay, that's
there you go.
That was a while ago, though.
What were you gonna say, Justin?
Have you watched Grave of the Fireflies?
I have.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say, if you had, that will almost certainly make you cry.
I don't really want to think about that.
Well, there definitely was something recently. I'm gonna go back in my book list because again, it's a book. It's probably a book.
That's, you know what? That's better. We were all naming movies, TV shows.
I remember watching TV on January 20th and crying, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as entertainment media, though. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to just look away from a car crash.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I would love to play Avatar Legends now.
Yeah, I think we're now in the right mood, a nice uplifting mood, talking about these things in our past, to get into this nice uplifting show that we have for all of y'all. Previously on Scars of Disorder, our young benders had been invited to rest in the mining village of Tuzin. After sharing a meal and some tea with Mahe and his younger siblings, Mahe being the mayor of Tuzin, Haru and Mei were caught off guard when they overheard a Fire Nation messenger named Yosu mention the name Reich. Upon hearing this, Mei and Haru told the group that Reich was a figure involved in both of their pasts. He had worked closely with Mei's father, and he was one of Haru's handlers. The group decided to craft a plan to save Tuzin from the clutches of Reich. Meanwhile, Ling Hrung took it upon herself to eavesdrop on the conversation Mahe and Yosu were having. And after learning that Yosu and his men were planning on staying the night at the same inn her friends were staying, she took it upon herself to cause a diversion in order to draw Yosu and his soldiers away. The rest of the group joined in on the battle Ling had sprung, and after dispatching of Yosu and his men, Haru was suddenly struck by a crossbow bolt shot by Kiara. Mahei's younger sister. And after proclaiming that she in fact does remember Haru's involvement in her father's death, she began charging at them with a pair of small knives, as Ling likewise charges to meet her. We open on a scene of the dark streets of Tuzin. The camera stays close to the floor as we see the feet of several Fire Nation soldiers rushing down the road and hopping on ostrich horses in order to flee the small mining village after their defeat in combat with several young benders. As the citizens of Tuzin begin to stir, peeking through their windows and opening their doors to see what the ruckus is that's coming from one of the center alleyways. We quickly shift to the scene of Kiara rushing toward Haru, Techo, and Ling with a small pair of knives. Behind Kiara, we see Mei rounding the corner, conjuring fire in her hands. Mei, what do you do?
So I'm gonna throw some fire pinwheels at the back of her. Is there like, what's that thing called behind your shins? Like it's like the back part of it, like right beneath the calves. Yeah, like
calves?
but like
her,
lower.
Your Achilles?
Her Achilles? You want to lob fire at her Achilles?
No. Let's not snap that. But like just a little lower than her calves, but not quite the Achilles. Okay, not.
Yeah. Her lower calves.
Yeah, her lower calves. We could do that. I'm fine with that.
The upper ankle.
Sam, her Achilles?
Both of them?
Oh my god. Yes, what?
It's harder to
exactly...
kill somebody if you can't walk.
You're so right. You're so right. What exactly is Mei's intent?
To stop her from attacking Haru.
So you just want to basically launch like a hard, just like swift launch of fire at like basically her ankles, just to try to get her to like fall to stop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you can say that. Hoping that
I like it.
She'll fall forward or something like that. Just anything that kind of like give Haru some time or anything else.
I like it. Give me a rely on your skills and training then. I'm just going to quickly go over your sheet just to make sure there's not something that might more work here.
Okay, just on a hit, you do it. On a 7-9, you do it perfectly. Okay.
Yeah, give me rely on skills and training.
Yeah. It's a 10.
yeah. So you got a 10. You are insecure, so that's a -2, so that brings it to an 8. But you have a +2 passion, which brings it back to a 10. So that is a 10 plus. You do it. You just do it. It's relying on skills and training. So yeah, you just do it. We see Kiara rushing toward Haru, Linkrong, and Techo, bearing these small knives that it looks like she must have just grabbed from her kitchen before she came here. And very quickly, Mei just rounds the corner and launches just a quick like lob of fire at the small 14-year-old girl's ankles as she yelps and skids to the floor.
No, Mei, don't hurt her.
So I just kind of slow down and kind of walk my way towards her. And I say, Haru can think and feel whatever he wants. That is his and his alone to bear. But the truth is, he's a product of a military that doesn't care about any of us. A military I've spent my life serving, hoping that it would keep the legacy of a certain man alive. And that man is my father. And my father did this to him. He turned him into an assassin who killed your father. My father took him as a boy, not only from his family, but also took his mind from him as well. Forced him to live as an animal to survive in a strange world. And yet, after all that, still became a man that never lost the strength of the hope within himself. And the trust in
bringing
Jessica.
bringing herself to her feet, sort of lifting herself off the ground after skidding onto the floor. As she stands up, she begins to speak out. You think I care what you have to say? She then looks and she glares at Haru. They murdered my dad. I didn't get a chance to say anything before they did that. They came in the dead of night and they took that away from me. So no, I don't care about his history, about why they did it. I'm going to take that back. As she prepares and rears up to throw one of the knives at Haru. I think I'd want to give the opening for one person to do something. She is standing up and just, you can see her rearing up to throw a knife. And I will say that would have been a plead if she cared what you think, May.
Yeah. Haru will shakily stand up on their feet. Because again, there's a crossbow bolt in one of them.
Teto will help them up.
How far is May from her?
I think you guys are like the length of like a typical alleyway in a small Earth Kingdom village. So take with that what you will.
Yeah, we all
Kiara's
know
like,
how big a typical Earth Nation is.
Yeah. I think
Standard
Kiara's
unit of measurement.
Yeah, I think Kiara's dead in the center. I'm just gonna say
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say probably Ling Hong had stopped running after May had launched the fire at her. May's on one side of the alley, and on the other side is your three friends. As Kiara sees Haru begin to stand up, kind of like seems like they're preparing to say something, she releases the tension in her arms to sort of wait to see what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Kiara, right? That was your name?
She just gives like an angry nod, yes.
My friend was right about everything she said, except for one thing. My mind was not taken from me. I knew what I was doing back then. And I'll like let go of Teto and hobble forward, so it's me like a couple feet in front.
Yeah. Even though you're pretty far away, as you step forward, Kiara like instinctually takes a step back as she's sneering at you. Not sneering, but she's just staring at you, almost emotionless, with just the hint of just this like singeing anger.
I knew what I was doing. I knew the mission they sent me on. And I knew what I needed to do to accomplish it. But every day since then, I have regretted every single action that I have done under the Fire Lord. Taking, a couple more steps forward. It doesn't end, Kiara. The violence, the anger. You don't get to push it down. You gotta just sit with it. But I'll tell you this. If you throw that knife, everything's gonna change for you. You'll never be the same person you were. You'll lose your siblings, and they'll lose you. But like I said, my mind was my own that night. Do what you gotta do.
Justin, do you think this is enough to trigger a making amends roll?
Oof, I got caught up into it. Do I actually want to say the words "I'm sorry"?
I think Haru needs to forgive themselves before they can forgive them. Has Haru forgiven
Yeah.
himself for that action?
I don't think they have. I do think they are. I mean, look, if we're playing Powered by the Apocalypse, they are trying their best to prove they're a different, better
Yes.
person.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm not going to look at the questions. I'm just going to say that narratively, that is what they are trying to do.
I love it. I love it. So let's go ahead and go through. Did you make amends directly to a person you harmed?
I did say I regret it. I don't
think
know. I'm fine with you saying that does not count.
So make amends. Make amends. Let's just, because for me, make amends means to like.
Sure. I'm sorry to say the words. I get it.
Yeah. When I think of make amends, I think of like someone like, I'm going to do this good thing.
Sure.
In place of the wrongdoing that I caused. Right?
Here, I think is my only argument and what I think I intended to do with this, which is to meet Kiara where she is at. Haru is submitting himself to the consequences of his actions, whatever that may be.
I like that. And there's like a sacrifice element to that too. You're making personal sacrifice to. It's I'm gonna say yes. I think yes. I think I want to.
I do, and I also would like to request that I unmark guilty.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just said the condition to unmark guilty, so I can't just go back on what I said. You caught me. Are you at your center?
You said the words.
That's not the words. You're not at.
I am not in my center.
Did you honestly? Did someone honestly thank you for your efforts or forgive you for your mistakes? Nah.
No.
But that is just a +1. So you're just rolling with a +1. Come on.
Stressed. I want to get that 10 plus so badly. I got a 12.
Whoa!
I rolled a 6 and a 5. Plus
that
1.
Is amazing. That is so good. So on a hit, you feel the spark of hope. You're making progress. On a 10 plus, choose 2 from the below options. You can choose the same option twice or unlock the next connection balance track space.
You know I'm going to unlock that connection space.
Ladies and gentlemen, Haru
finally
can now connect.
I can feel connection. Finally.
This is amazing. As you say this to Kiara, there is a moment where I think, Haru, you kind of like instinctually close your eyes because you think she's going to make the decision to just throw the knife.
For sure.
But as you close your eyes and you prepare for that, you feel a pair of like clangs on the floor, on the ground. As you see, she has dropped her knives to the ground as she drops to her knees and just begins sobbing. The rest of you, not too caught up in this moment, notice on either side of the alleyway, some townsfolk have woken up and are like investigating what the heck's going on here as they see this scene.
I think if the scene has calmed down a little bit and there is a child weeping, Teto is going to approach her just very cautiously and crouch down next to her and reach out his hand and sort of hover it over her shoulder, unsure if he should make contact or not, but he wants her to know that somebody is there. As
you hover your hand on her shoulder and she kind of like feels like the the waft of air from her hand, she quickly slinks away and crawls away from you and goes, "No! Get away! I just want you to leave. All of you."
Kiara, I got another idea. Your brother's the mayor, right? Presides over the justice of this town. I submit myself. To whatever consequences your brother thinks are best.
I think at this, from the crowd forming behind you, Haru, you hear, what's the meaning of this? As he pushes through the crowd, you see Mahe. What's going on here? Kiara, as he sprints over to the center of the alleyway, pushing past all of you, blocking him. So it'll be like Ling, Tajo, Haru, pushes past you guys and kneels down in front of Kiara. Kiara, what's wrong?
Mayor
as Kiara
Mahe,
is just uncontrollably sobbing.
I've been lying to you. I know who you are. I killed your father.
Gasps.
Yeah, there are gasps in the crowd. I think if it's the scene of a movie, the camera kind of does that, like, zoom in to Mahe's face as the rest of the world kind of like expands and just zooms into his face as his jaw drops and his eyes go wide. You hear Kiara quietly say, choking back sobs, "You can't tell me you don't recognize him. Look in his eyes, Mahe." As he just looks at you and begins standing up and slowly like walking towards you. You see like this look of like disbelief in his eyes. You can see as he's breathing, his mouth is like shaking, and he can't tell if that's fear or just him trying to hold back like some deep repressed form of primal anger that he's just done so much to just keep down, but is having trouble now coming face to face with his father's murderer.
And as it gets close enough, I'll put my hands out, cross them in front of my body. I was just telling your sister I submit myself to your justice.
He looks behind you as you can see what few law enforcement officials of Chuzin have now joined the crowd. He just looks at them and nods, as unless anyone does anything, these men, the law enforcement of Chuzin, begin pushing past you guys to shackle Haru's wrists.
Do we think that Ling would jump in here?
She would, and that's why I'm so
She
thankful
would.
Nick's not here.
So, as Ling goes to move and say something, Teto will step in front of her and put his hands out and say, "Ling, Haru and I talked about this. I think they need to do this. And you were the one who told me about respecting people's decisions and not taking their choices into our hands. I think they need to do this on their own."
I think, barring any voicing for Ling, I think we just see her like heavily breathing as like she feels she's like losing control of the situation. I think we can see that she's thinking like they don't understand though. Like Haru's trying to be better. They don't understand. But she can't really find the words to say that, as just immense frustration falls over her.
Haru looks at her in this moment. Like I picture like as he's being led away, he locks eyes with Ling, just gives her a nod.
Yeah, and I think Ling would just nod back, kind of. This might not be too Ling characteristic, but kind of just like trusting in, okay, Haru knows what they're doing here.
Shift her balance.
Mahe walks towards you, Haru, as your hands are now shackled behind your back. And they sort of, the way your hands are shackled, they tie this rope around your shackles that also tie in front of you, so they can just sort of pull you by a rope.
Yeah.
As Mahe just walks towards you and goes, put him into cells for now. We can rest and we can figure out what to do with him tomorrow. You'll pay for this. I hope you know that. This
Counted on it.
This facade, this showy act of sacrifice, it's not going to work on me.
I understand.
As he walks past you, he makes the softest whisper. I think only you can probably hear this. As he goes, if it was me holding the crossbow, you'd be dead already. And he has Kiara with his arms. As he walks away, you see some of the law enforcement officials are trying to disperse the crowd from seeing this. As they begin taking you to the local jail. I think as the crowd begins to disperse, you guys notice that May is no longer in the alleyway.
What happened to May? Ling, why would you talk to me? Are you mad?
I really want to quickly cut to May. May, what are you doing?
I'm making my way towards the Panther Ray. And I'm like, May's crying. Just because she learned a lot about her father and stuff like that. So yeah, she's heading towards the Panther Ray. And she gets up and then just starts to. She looks back, and what exactly do I see? Is it an empty town, like where I'm at, or can I see the crowd still?
Yeah, I think you see the remnants of the dispersed crowd, sort of making their way to their individual abodes. Does anyone, after they notice May gone, does anyone like pretty immediately go find May? I imagine Ling sticks next to Haru for as long as she can while the guards take him to the jail. But they definitely get to the point where they're like, hey, you can't come into the jail.
No, fine.
Oh, that was Ling.
That was Ling.
Okay, yes, very, very cool. Yes. Yeah, that was a Ling.
It had the the stutter and awkwardness. I get you. You're an actor.
But yeah.
Hello, did you find May?
Oh, I was following you, Ling. I don't know where May went. I'm sure she's around. I think that for now, maybe we just wait this out and see what tomorrow brings. Maybe we should talk to the Earth Sages too. Maybe they have an idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish Haru had mentioned that he was going to do this.
I mean, life's unpredictable.
I always have a plan, Tedo.
And is that working out for you?
Let's just find May.
Yeah. And I think May,
gonna-
as you
I'm
look
gonna-
back, sorry.
Teto does not want to find May. He is still in.
I love it.
He's feeling for May, and he knows that she's going through it right now, and he doesn't trust himself, and is still super guilty. So his method of dealing is avoidance. So he's going to say to Ling, I think I'm going to go back to the inn and see if the Earth Sages are awake.
All right. See if they know anything about the rules here in Tuzin. Maybe they can find some way out of this.
Yeah. May, so I think that's what you see then as you look back, sort of looking past the crowd that has dispersed, going back to their individual homes. You see just in front of the jail where the guards had taken Haru, you see Teto and Lingrong sort of hashing it out, kind of like Lingrong seems to be like half like yelling at Teto while Teto's just like, and yeah, you see the people who you've known to be your friends the past few weeks as you stand by your panther way.
Yeah, so I look back and I see them. I just see their bodies. I don't hear anything. I just see this a bunch of this and a bunch of that. And Haru's not there, right? They took Haru away.
Yeah, Haru has now been taken into the prison cell.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I can't. And I wipe my tears off and I say, can't leave these idiots. And I turn around and I walk over and I just march. Like I don't even like talk to them. I just like march right past them. And I say, let's go. Whether or not they're following me. I'm going towards whatever direction Haru's in.
Yeah.
Without invading what they have set up for him or for them.
Yeah. So Lingrong and Tetra were already standing in front of the small jail that Tuzin has where Haru has been taken to.
Do they put them in like a cell or something?
Yeah,
or
so a cell in the jail. And they're not
Is there
allowing you
a-
guys to enter until the morning.
Yeah, but is there like a window? Or is it just
Yeah.
a room with no...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think Haru, as you're taken into this jail cell, it's a very simple jail cell with like a stone, visibly uncomfortable cot there. And you can see there's a window facing the front of the town, and you could just hear and see Teto and Ling arguing after you're taken to the cell.
As May comes back, Teto will turn to Ling and say, "Oh, there she is. She's right here."
Yes, I can see her.
I'm well, now that you all are together, I think it's still a good idea to go find the Earth Sages. So I'm gonna go back to the inn, and you all take care of Haru.
Teto, bring them here.
What if they're asleep? I'll see. I will come back. I will. Okay.
This
All right.
isn't-
Bye. I'll see you. Bye.
Teto.
Bye.
At this point, Teto, as you try to walk towards the inn, one of the Tuzin police officers quickly cuts you off. He sort of pushes you back as more guards leave the jail. And they say, I'm sorry. On behalf of Mayor Mahe, we were told that we don't know if the 1, 2, 3, if the 3 of you are possible conspirators in cahoots with individual in the jail. So we were told to escort you back to the Southern Gym and put you guys on somewhat of a pseudo house arrest.
Fine. Nothing is going our way. Just go back.
That's the whole point, because if things were to go your way and you are in fact a enemy of the town of Tuzin,
I get it. I understand.
All
Just
right.
take us back.
All right. So if you could just follow me. Not a question. Follow me. I'll actually stand behind you. You know where the inn is. I'll stand behind you so I can see if you... Yeah. Go to the inn. The men around him are just like shaking their heads in disappointment.
Teto is nodding his head, and he turns to Ling. He's like, "Oh, this guy's got leadership skills. You two maybe should be friends.
I'm the deputy.
I thought you said that I had leadership skills.
Well, yeah, I know, but like iron sharpens iron is what people say.
You think that man has leadership skills?
Look at me, I'm walking.
Why are they walking yet? Besides Airbender, it's because you need to be more stern with them. How stern as I could be. Yeah, and they follow you guys as you walk to the inn. Some of them are like poking you in the back, but like I think if one pokes you a little too hard, like, oh, sorry, I mean, I'm not. As they poke you guys in the back to escort you guys back to the inn.
All of us?
You can see all three of you. You can see that they had already gathered as you get into the inn. The tender behind the counter sort of gives a confused wave, but then he sees the guards follow, and it's like, oh, to you guys. As they bring you up the stairs, you can see that they had already gathered the Earth Sages into one room as they push the three of you into the same room. Fung goes, "What?
Hey,
what's going on? What's the meaning of this?
Donnie.
Why?
Hey, Danny. Hey, Steve.
Teto, I don't understand this thing you're doing, but my name's Fung. This is Riho. We've gone over this. Are you okay? Did you hit your head? Sorry, I forgot I'm an old man. Are you okay? Did you hit your head on something? We heard fire blast. Is that
we were doing like secret identity thing for you all.
Oh. Fung looks at the guard, and the guard just sends her picking his nose, not even paying attention. Oh, I'm sorry. You gotta stay in here. You can't come out. All right. And he leaves the room and closes the door, and you feel like a lock. As he turns the knob a few times to make it seem like he's locking several locks, but you guys know there's only one lock on the door. What's going on? Can one of you explain?
Well, after you all went to sleep, we were all talking, and then Haru and May were talking, and turns out their pasts are connected in a very scintillating way. And then we heard a crash, and we went outside, and Ling was fighting some guys who threw fire, and then we fought them as well, and I fought as well, and I knocked somebody out. It was a new experience for me, and then right after I knocked the guy out, Haru woke him up, kind of undoing my work, and then he knocked him out again after talking to him, and then this little girl shot him in the leg, and then May came around the corner and took out her legs, and then they also had a conversation as well, very heavy and deep. So I think I'm leaving out some of the details, but that's the gist of it.
Where's Haru? Did you already mention that?
Oh no, I stopped before the end of the story.
Yeah,
he's in jail.
You see the two other sages are trying around work to calm Fung down. Like someone's take one of them, like Mohan's taking a towel to dab his forehead with. What did they do?
Some bad stuff, Fung. They did some bad stuff in their past.
I just realized they don't know.
They weren't there. They had one upstairs to their room before Haru had said
not
that.
only that, but when I told them, the Earth Sages had been captured.
Yeah, they don't know anything about Haru's past. They know nothing about Haru's past.
They're like, what?
What? Has Haru performed here or something?
I mean, you could say that. Like he performed some actions.
He's an assassin. He's the Fire Lord's assassin.
Gasps.
Was.
Teto gasps.
Teto, you already know this. He's told you multiple times.
What do you...
but it's still
Fire
so
Lord.
shocking.
Each time. I need to go. I need to go see him. I need to go. As Funk prepares himself
not-
and he prepares to leave the room,
They're not going to let you.
I am sure that if I just hear Haru explain themselves, and there's a very good reason for all of this, and that if I perhaps said something, they could hear me out. I'm a respected sage of the Earth Kingdom. This. Why do you all look so hopeless? What's
Bung, Haru went willingly.
what? Do we know their plans? Is he meant to stand trial?
We're not exactly sure. We were hoping that you might know, but I think that the guards of Tuzin think that we might be involved as well. They don't know. That's why we're locked in
Well,
here.
That complicates things, because if he was meant to stand trial, then as an Earth Sage, I would be able to represent them. But if they suspect me as a accomplice, then that would revoke my ability in being able to do so. So the first thing we would have to do is prove my innocence of Haru's crimes, which I'm sure shouldn't be too hard. What were you guys doing before Haru got arrested?
We were fighting some Fire Nation folks, just casually in the alley.
They were not just nation folks, they were Fire Nation soldiers.
And the girl that you fought was one of these Fire Nation soldiers?
No, that's the mayor's sister.
Oh. Okay.
In our defense, the only person who hurt her was me and May. It wasn't Haru.
Yeah, Fung, write that one
looks
down.
Fung looks at
Maybe
May
we
kind
can
of
use
like half. Fung looks at May kind of like half looking for an explanation. Mahei's younger sister. You felt a need to fight her?
No.
Okay. This, as much as I would love to hear it from Haru's lips, I think I need a full explanation.
We give it.
About-
Got it.
About what?
I mean, over the table. Danny, are you wanting just to recount what just happened, or are you talking directly to May?
Just to everyone, so sorry. So to recap what you guys have said about why Haru was arrested, I think Checho had said that it was something about his past.
Yeah, Teto has left out a lot of details. So
Yeah,
there
but
are
then
no.
Ling spoke up. But then Ling spoke up and said that Haru was an assassin of the Fire Lord. I think. Wait, did Ling already say that Haru had killed Mahei's father?
I don't think so.
No.
Yes, I think that. Yes, so that's what Fung's searching for.
For
This
sure.
doesn't fully explain why he was arrested.
So who is he asking? Is he asking May or is he asking
He's asking
whole-
May, he's asking Ling, he's asking Techo, he's asking Mohan and Riho to see if they know anything, but they're just standing there oblivious.
I'm going to be conservative with how much I speak as Ling. So
yeah.
How about we recount to the Earth Sages that the full story in details?
Does Techo just do that?
Sure, he'll do it. He'll.
I don't think we need to like role play it out. I just want to know if you guys tell Fung like
Everything.
Haru everything, including Haru killed Mahei's father.
I think now would be
Yeah.
the time to
Yeah.
come clean about it.
If not now, when? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, he's
we're locked in
literally
a room together.
maybe after Haru is convicted and found guilty.
Oh,
murder.
yeah. So we probably should have told you before you represented him. He
Haru's
did
just
do it.
Haru's just on a gallows.
He did it.
and you
He
guys
did
say
do
that.
it.
I was like, come on.
He's guilty.
Yeah, after you guys take the time to tell Fung, Mohan, and Riho this, Mohan and Riho have already sat down. Upon hearing this. Fung, taking in the full weight of everything, goes, I always saw a darkness in them, but I could also see the ways they were trying to fight that back, maybe hide it. This is very complicated. Unfortunately, I think all we can do is just sleep the night and see what Mahe has in mind tomorrow. I am deeply sorry to the three of you. I'm sorry that I can't be of more help right now in this time of need. And kind of defeated, Fung will just like grab like a pillow from one of there's like storage like closets in each of the rooms with extra bedding. Just grab one of those and just like find a corner and just sleep down there. And the look on his face is just a face of just like endless like pondering. Like you can tell he's just like racking his brain of possibilities of how to get out of the situation. Maybe he's like searching for signs from the past, you know? Barring Ling, because I think we can just assume Ling goes to bed, but May, Techo, I know his camera's off for now, but maybe you guys do anything else before just going to sleep?
May just locks herself up in her room.
Wait, are we all in the same room?
Yeah, so you guys were all forced to be confined in the same room.
Okay.
But maybe there's enough space in like, I think maybe there's enough space in the closet for May to just like lay down there. She really just wants to find like space for herself. Yeah. So we see May just clearing the closet from all the extra bedding and just making a makeshift like bed on the ground there for herself.
Yeah, well, have her like do it kind of aggressively, like she's going through something right now, so that way you can physically see that she's just not okay.
I think Teto might try to sleep, but he's feeling restless. Danny, can you give me a layout of the room? And
yeah, so say you enter into the door of the room. It's a pretty large room, so you guys aren't like crowded in here, right? But I'd say it's like about the size of like a master bedroom you'd find in a mid-Wisconsin suburb. In the far opposite corner of the door, you see the bed set up, and you see several people have just taken the extra bedding from the closet to set up their own little sleep sections. I feel like, do we think Ling would take the bed? Or would Ling let...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it. Or maybe Ling's used to like sleeping on the floor growing up on a ship.
yeah, I feel like she might like huddle herself in a corner.
Yeah, so if no one takes the bed, then one of the Earth sages would have
All three of them.
All three of them. Mo and Rio would sleep on the bed.
Maybe it's like the grandparents. Maybe it's like the grandparents from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, I love it. Yes. Yeah, so that's the layout. That's the layout, Sam.
The real question here is Teto wants to break out.
Okay.
Is there a window?
There is a window, and the guards are just outside the front door. If you don't want any of your party members to notice, you'd probably have to wait until they're all fast asleep.
I think I can do that.
Yeah. What is your intent trying to break out?
I think he is, again, feeling a little bit restless. I don't think he has like a malicious intent. Like he'll come back, but he needs to get some energy out. So his mindset is that he just needs to go out. It's not that he's going to go away. He understands that he has like to see this thing through, and like why they shouldn't mind if he just goes out and gets some air.
You're so right.
Stretches his legs a little bit. Walks around.
They should know. They should know you're planning on coming back. So
it's like that scene when Aang is in the stockades, and then he like pulls his head out.
He pulls his head out. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And Tato, being an airbender, you're able after your friends fall asleep. I think especially with May being in the closet with a closed door. I think May was like probably the one you were worried, like the most one you were worried about waking up. But being behind a closed door, she's the easiest not to wake up. Yeah, you're able to sneak out the window. You think it's definitely a you as a player realize it's definitely like a mistake that the guard didn't think, oh, there's also a window that opens in the room. But obviously, I think it's clear to all the characters that if you guys wanted to fight back and Haru fought back, you would easily not be arrested by the unequipped law enforcement at Tuzin. But it's because Haru was like, okay, take me. But yeah, you're able to escape out through the window. What exactly do you do, Tata? Do you just walk around?
I think he's gonna wander a little bit. So what does Teto know about Tuzin? He doesn't know about the plans that Yosu told to Mahe.
Yeah, no, only Ling heard that, and Ling has not told anyone since.
So maybe it is as innocent as just kind of wanting to see what this town is about. Like, is there a nightlife? Is there like a monument, or something fun? Because he's not able to go to sleep. He fought for the first time and knocked somebody out. So he used like force and aggression, and he's still dealing with that. He's churning on the inside about abandoning May still and having to be in close proximity to her. He's worried about Haru, but also proud of them for standing up. So he's just got some energy, and he'll be back for the morning to meet up with everybody else. But what does this town have to offer?
I love it. Real quick, while you're walking around the town, I first also want to know, because this probably will have to do with something. Haru, what are you doing in this cell as night descends?
It's just me in there.
It's just you in there. You notice that most of the guards who had arrested you have dispersed, and they just left one guard to sit and watch you. He's sort of sitting behind the desk inside the prison cell. And this very round man is just fast asleep on his chair as drool is just falling from his face.
It feels like somebody defunded the Tuzin police, and
yeah, this seems like it might be like the first time in who knows how long they've actually arrested someone.
God, if only. I think Haru is laying on the stone bed, and they've got like a little rock, and they're just throwing it and like chucking it and like bouncing it off the walls and catching it.
Yeah. So Tato, then I think as you're walking at this point in the night, the town is already gone back to sleep. So it's pretty silent. And as you're walking around looking for sights, I think you come across some very like cool, kind of like not as well taken care of as it could be, but You think it's cool for them of trying like setting up these like plaques around like various landmarks, maybe some like boulders jutting out, talking about just the history of Tuzin, the discovery of the rare ore that they've been able to turn into the incredibly sought after Tuzin steel. As you reach the center of town, you hear echoing from the prison, the jail that Haru's taken to, just the sound of like a rock hitting against a wall as it echoes outside the window.
I think Teto will take a look around, see if there's any activity that would prevent him to going over there. He knows that that's where Haru is. And if nothing, he'll maybe slide up to the window.
Yeah, as you get closer to the window, the sound of the rock just rhythmically hitting the wall becomes to be paired with the low guttural snoring of the guard that was given the duty of watching over Haru. As you go past the window and you are able to see, depending on where Haru is laying on the cot in there, either the top of their head or their feet.
And he'll say,
Teto?
"Hey,
Is
yeah,
you?
it's me. Yeah, it's me.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I couldn't sleep. I was worried about things and stuff. And this town isn't very big. And I heard some noise over here, so I figured I'd check it out."
Yeah, I can't sleep either. How is everyone? Is everyone all right?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, Ling is like normal. May is I think she's really out of it. I think she's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Earth Sages, they know that you're not a singer. They were very disappointed.
Well, I mean, I am a singer.
Yeah, no, you're really good. I've heard you.
Just not the singer they thought I was. That's neither here nor there. Teto,
Yeah.
I'm about to ask something really hard of you.
Okay. Let me get ready. Okay. I'm ready.
All right.
Wait. Oh. Okay, I'm ready now. Okay, now I'm gonna do normal breathing. I'm ready.
The last thing I wanted was for all of you to get swept up in this. You all have nothing to do with my choices and my consequences. So I think the best thing for y'all to do is to leave. And I don't want y'all to leave. I don't know what's going to happen to me. And I couldn't live with myself if I didn't know what's going to happen to all of y'all.
Haru, I hear what you're saying. But I guess, do you trust us?
Yeah, I do.
Do you trust us to make our own decisions when it comes to who we choose to band with?
Haru, I hear your concerns. But I think I want you to hear that we're in this journey together. Something has pulled us together as a group, and as much as the forces around us put strain on our relationships, I think we're together for a reason. I think that you and Ling and May have been alone for a lot of your life. I think that each of you deserves a group to be with. In the good times and in the challenging ones. I can go back to Ling and May and the Earth Sages and tell them that you want us to leave, but I don't think I'm going to be able to convince them. I think we've made our decision, and I think we're going to stick together.
Danny, is there a role in here? Is this a?
I mean, it sounds like a guiding comfort.
Or am I?
Or
am I calling you out? I want to shift you towards connection now that you've.
Ooh, I liked it.
But I don't know how. I don't know what the appropriate thing would be.
I think it would be called.
Oh, it's when my center does that. Never mind. Something happens when my center shifts towards connection.
Yeah, I think that would be calling Haru out to live up to connection. I like that. And it's like the first time. I think, has it happened? I think it has happened before. But yeah, I think it would just be calling Haru out to live.
So I've got to shift my balance away from center, then name and roll with their principal, which would be connection, which is at a -2.
Which is at a -2
on a hit. I guess what am I calling you to do?
To trust.
Stop pushing us away.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you're not afraid, Tato, so you don't get a -2 on this.
But I can't. I can't roll with my principal. I can't live up to my principal. As I call.
When you take, I mean, technically you can. How? What action do you think you'd be taking in telling Haru this that would be in accordance with? I'm guessing you'd be choosing friendship. I mean, it makes sense. I don't even need to tell me the action. What you said. So you would just have to mark the fatigue. I like that. I'm going to allow that.
What do you think, Justin?
If I didn't want to allow that, I'd say no. But I'm not saying
I understand. I'm not going to tell you no in this moment. I am going to check the rules because there's usually additional text in the rule book.
All right. I'm going to do that then.
But do it for now.
Yeah, why not?
We
break the rules all the time. Isn't that right, Danny?
Yeah. We really do, don't we? Also, sorry, I'm now going back and stuff because we're looking at live up to your principle. It does say instead of whatever stat you would normally roll with. And calling someone out, you're not rolling with a stat, you're rolling with their principle.
All right. I'm going to do it anyways. I'm rolling with -2.
Which is technically a stat.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm going to say you can then.
Technically a stat.
Let's say, Sam, let's say you can mark a fatigue and you can live with your principle here. And if after the fact, after tonight's episode, we find out that you can't, then we're just going to have to live with that. But going forward, then we just won't do that anymore.
For all you Avatar Legend GMs out there, hop in the Discord. Tell us what we're doing right.
Yes,
tell
please.
us what we're doing wrong.
This is fun. This is the stuff I live for, the nitty gritty of the rules.
But I mean, it makes sense.
Ooh.
Tato is.
So here's the thing. I'm going to shift my balance away from center.
Yep.
And then roll with my balance.
Roll with friendship.
Yep.
Okay, your friend. So Tacho has just brought his friendship to +3. So that's nice. But now you can roll with a 3 to call Haru out.
Okay, I got an 8 on the dice. +3 is 11.
I love it. Justin, I'm sorry, we made a decision. We can.
No, it's passed.
Yeah.
I do actually think you cannot do that.
Yeah, but it's
under stats. It just has the 4 stats, but hands off chess piece.
Yeah, and I like it. I just like it too. You know.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
I think it makes sense. It makes sense. So Teto got an 11 on that. So on a hit, they are called to act as you say. They must either do it or mark a condition. So Haru, how do you respond to Teto saying this?
Teto, I don't feel like I have to sugarcoat that. No one has ever chosen me. From the moment I was born, I was stolen and used. And I'm deeply uncomfortable. Because I don't want to see any of you get hurt. But you showed me what it means to have friends. And I know that part of that is trusted.
And I think hearing that, Teto will stick his arm or his hand through the bars to offer up human contact to Haru.
Haru will grab it.
As Haru grabs your hand, a little ruffle in his sleeve appears as you see King coming up from Haru's sleeve to like embrace both your guys' hands.
And Teto will take his other hand and wrap it around King as well. A little hand hug.
Yeah, King was quiet
like
that
that.
entire time. And yeah, they didn't even see it.
I like that. And
They
yeah,
took
as
my
per
biwa, though. Hey, Teto. Do you see my biwa? It's sitting right by that guard over there. You think you can use some air and bring it in here?
Oh yeah, totally sure. I'll use vacuum fist.
I didn't know you knew how to vacuum fist.
It's a technique. It's usually made for cleaning, but you know what? Let's use it now.
I love it. I love it. Real quick though, as per Sam's message in the private chat, I think this makes a lot of sense. Haru, I'm gonna be shifting your balance towards connection.
I resist it. I'm just kidding.
I was like, come on, man. And now I love all these rules. Teto, you're definitely indulging in a bad habit with a friend because this is trespassing, and I would consider this thievery.
Thievery. It's
What's
hard.
great is there's a lot of this could help to aid in whatever happens tomorrow. Is there gonna be a trial tomorrow? What? What's going on?
Wait, hold on. Okay. You want me to do my bad habits now while I'm at +3 with a friend?
You did that to yourself, man.
Okay, that's cool. You know what? That's fine. You gonna take me at the scene?
And this
With
is
this?
great because
But through friendship. Taking it out through friendship.
So much friendship. I don't want to be taken out, Danny.
Do you want to
Right.
refuse to grab Haru's biwa?
No.
Yeah?
No, I don't. I mean, I'll look at Haru and be like,
I'll totally do that for you, but it's kind of a sketchy situation, and I don't want to get caught. There's a guard right there.
I'm gonna clear inspired. I'm gonna shift towards survival.
There you go. There
Then
you
I'm
go.
gonna go right back to friendship.
Nice. Yep. Perfect. Yep. So roll with a +3.
Double sixes on the dice.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So on a hit, you and your friend pull it off and grow closer. Each of you makes the other inspired. Again, on a
There it
10
is.
plus though, you also obtain some useful resource or information and become prepared. So, useful resource or information. Yeah. So as I love it. I love it. as you sort of like almost telekinetically use an air vacuum to pull the biwa to Haru's cell, Teto, it almost like just grazing the large sleeping guard's face. So he sort of and just goes back to sleep. Haru, you're able to catch it in your hand as reaching your hand through the cell. And you have your beloved biwa back at you. But tied around one of the tuning pegs is a tag. It just looks like any way that like law enforcement would like tag evidence is tied with like some hemp around there, and there's parchment on the end of it. Out of curiosity, you look at the parchment, and it just lists the deputy that had arrested you, and it's signed by the sheriff of the police in Tuzin, and the name signed is Check. And Haru, you swear you remember this name. As your heart drops, as you recognize the name Check, because it was another one of the people who used to work under Reich. This individual Check worked more as someone that Reich would send for these long-term jobs as like an undercover mole. He specialized in becoming someone else for long periods of time. And you realize that he must have been sent to Tuzin, work as the sheriff, to just probably watch over Mahe, think everything's going fine. And you see the name signed on this evidence tag on your biwa.
Teto, look at this.
Sorry, I also want to say you don't, real quick, just to clarify, the name Check isn't, you don't recognize it as his name, but you recognize it as one of the aliases that this.
I understand.
That
okay,
this
all right.
agent would take.
And I put 2 and 2 together. We're here. Reich was mentioned. Okay. Mm-hmm. Teto, look at the name on this. The sheriff's name.
You're not. I was going to listen to music.
No. I mean, I was going to play. Sure, but look at this first.
Well, maybe
I'll
one
hand
song.
him.
Okay, all right, great. This is good. Is this a set list?
Teto, no. The name of the sheriff. Check.
I'm looking. I'm checking it.
That's an alias. That's an undercover agent sent by Rack. I did a couple jobs with them. The sheriff's working for the Fire Lord.
That's good. No, that's bad.
It's bad, but it's good.
It's good.
No, it's good because get this to Funk. They can use this.
Oh, that's a good idea. You've got good ideas, Haru. Haru, I feel like you could be maybe a deputy. I met a really, really strong deputy earlier. No, yes, I'll do exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Whatever happens tomorrow, we got to make sure that the Fire Lord doesn't have any more control over this place. All right? Listen, Teto, I trust you. I love you. I love all of you. But the most important thing is making sure that the Fire Lord leaves.
Okay. I love you too, Haru.
And Teto will go ahead and take the tag and slink away.
I love it. I was gonna ask, is Haru? It seems crazy for her to say. I was gonna ask if it's in reflection to him already shifting towards connection, but I think I'm just gonna say shift further towards connection.
Oh,
just one more,
okay.
Because that is kind of crazy. It seems like a big step. Seems like a very big step for Haru.
It does. I think that feels appropriate to unlocking connection for the first time. Like, you learn to appreciate and love people.
But I think I am gonna have you shift again towards it because I think it's. I see that conversation, like the way your balance is sort of fluctuating. I feel like it just makes sense, you know.
I accept. I like it.
I love it. Tacho, you begin to slink back to the inn. Meanwhile, we cut back. May, you wake up as you feel the closet. You notice the closet opens as one of the guards is standing outside the closet. You look behind him, and the other friends are asleep. He goes, I'm sorry, ma'am. You need to come with me real quick.
Why?
Sheriff would like to speak with you.
Tell him to come here.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. You don't have much of a choice. You're technically under house arrest, and I'd really like to stop talking in this room full of all your friends here. Can you please? He's right downstairs. There's tea. I'm really tired too. I'm sorry. Can you just come with us? I'm so sorry.
Arrest me. Take me over there.
All right. He's sort of awkward. He sort of awkwardly like
Yeah, and
but, like, gently too.
Here, take it.
All right. With like the most ridiculous amount of gentleness, he like grabs you by the wrists and like lifts you up, just on your feet.
Shit. Are you serious? Like,
You're under arrest, ma'am. Please come with me. Sorry. All right. As he's sort of just like facing you, walking backwards, almost tripping on one of the sages sleeping on the floor, just grabbing you by the wrists and pulling you backwards through the door behind him. Some of the other guards close the door. The guards that are standing on either side of the room, either side of the door to the room, as this guard leads you downstairs, and sitting down on one of the center tables is this man in military Earth Kingdom attire. You see he has a sheriff's star on him, on his chest, as he looks up and goes, May, is it please have a seat. Lovely to meet you. I've heard a lot about you.
I prefer to stand.
All right, no problem. He looks at and dismisses the guard as he goes back upstairs. Would you like any tea?
Nope.
All right, no worries at all. I understand that this entire situation must be a tad abrupt and confusing. How are you doing?
What? You woke me up from sleeping to ask me how I'm doing?
I woke you up to ask you for a little more, but I prefer to start with some formalities when I have a conversation with someone. If you'd like to, I can just skip straight to the discussion at hand.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. I'm sure you're aware that the governmental authorities here at Chuzin have sort of set up some deals, work somewhat closely with the Fire Nation, trading goods and other things of the like. What I called you here for, May, is when I heard about you, I swear I recognized your name. The war name Ash, especially, is what rang a bell. I knew your father, May. He was a great man, and I'm sure wherever his spirit may be, he is soaring with the great dragons of old.
Uh-huh. Where did you hear that my name was Ash?
Fire Nation war names tend to get around. I am military myself. This job I've sort of just taken to as a way of settling down.
still doesn't make sense. I don't
What doesn't
think
make sense?
how you would find out my name was Ash, or how you would even find out that I was who my father is. It's not like we've spoken. No one gave you my name.
I've fought side by side with your father.
Yet you and I have never met. So how do you know me?
I understand that. I understand that. As I've said, I knew your father, and he's spoken of you. I'm sorry. I understand that there's no reason for you to trust me at all, May. And I see that. I see your hesitation. I just wanted to make it known to you the great deal of respect that I had for your father, and in that, the respect I have for you being raised by such a great man.
So, I'm sorry. I'm really, really confused here. You woke me up from my sleep to tell me that you respect me.
Not exactly. At this point, Czech stands up, and I think I sort of skipped this. Czech would have introduced himself to you. Obviously, you wouldn't recognize his name, May, but he said, "Hello, my name is Czech." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He stands up with his teacup in hand and starts pacing around. As you know, we currently have your friend under arrest, unfortunately, as it may be. The situation is incredibly complicated. I think you may well already know that your friend is in fact the murderer of our town's previous mayor, rather. And I understand how uncomfortable it may be that you and the rest of your friends are currently under some form of house arrest right now. I do want to make it known that I don't believe the rest of you have involvement with the murder of our past sheriff, but obviously you know how that would look if we just let you go to the townsfolk. That there needs to be some form of formal trial, even for you. Here is what I'll ask of you. As you may already know, and I know this, I'm an intuitive gentleman, as you'll come to soon find out. Your friends, your Earth Sage friends, just the way they bring about themselves, it's a little obvious. Maybe you can tell them they can do a little better job of that. They can't represent Haru. They'd be great representatives for Haru, but they unfortunately can't, as they're also a part of the accused. I, on the other hand, am fully able to. And I personally can ensure Haru being proven innocent tomorrow. But I would ask something of you in return.
I'm listening.
I apologize for the vagueness that I'm about to proceed in, but I would ask that you would respond to somewhat of a call to arms that's coming. You will receive word, and you will know that it's from me and my men. If you agree to this, then I will represent Haru tomorrow, and as I said, I will ensure him being proven innocent. Otherwise, you are at quite a loss for someone to represent him. I'm sure your very talkative water-breaded friend up there would love to, but I am, knowing our folk and them being on the jury, I don't have much hope in that. So what say you?
Let me just get this right. You can represent Haru, even though you're the
Yes.
sheriff, and you're
Yes,
supposed to not. Okay.
Mahe will be
No.
acting judge.
Because all that seems fair and just.
Unfortunately, it's just the situation we're in with it being such a small town, and I have recognized this injustice, and I am putting forth a solution for you, purely out of sincerity and just out of the remembrance of your father, May. I just want you to know the sincerity in my heart doing this, and I understand if you refuse, not being able to trust me, but it's all I can think of any way to help you and your friends.
Why do you want to help me? What do you need me to do to call to arms when you say the word?
Your father was involved in great things. He contributed to great plans for the betterance of the Fire Nation. And I think this would be a fantastic way to honor the legacy of Kai. Continuing in the efforts that he helped to start. Check is calling you to live up to force. And because I can, he's going to attempt to shift your balance towards force first. Just through the conversation. So first, he's attempting to shift your balance towards force, May. So you can either just accept that or attempt to resist check shifting your balance.
And this is good.
I don't think NPCs can call someone out, but they can shift their balance.
Sorry, yes, sorry. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. Yes. So Kai is attempting to.
You can call them to live up to their principle. That NPCs can't.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Sure.
But
sorry, just wanted to make sure we're clear.
So first, Kai's attempting to shift your balance towards force. Would you like to accept that or resist it?
By accepting it, that means I also accept his deal, right?
No, not quite. It would just be. It would make him calling on you to live up to your force a little easier. I think ultimately doing their deal is up to you, but I think this these mechanics can sort of help inform what you think May might say. So the first step is whether or not you resist shifting the balance.
I'm going to resist it.
All right. So when you resist an NPC shifting your balance, roll. On a hit, you maintain your current balance in spite of their words. And the other things happen, but you just roll flat. Although you are currently troubled. So you're going to take a -2 to this roll. So roll with a -2. $12. Wow. -2.
What?
For a 10. So on a hit, you maintain your current balance in spite of their words. On a 10+, you choose 2. So you can choose 2 of these options. Clear condition or mark growth by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift your balance towards the opposite principle, or learn what their principle is, if they have one.
I can choose 2 or just 1?
You can choose 2.
All right. I'm going to clear a condition and I'm going to ask them what their principle is.
It is clear condition by immediately acting to prove them wrong.
To prove them wrong.
Oh, okay.
You can still do it. You just have to also figure out what that looks like.
What was that, Justin?
I said you can still choose that. You just have to then figure out narratively what that looks like. What are you immediately doing?
What is
that
May
proves them
doing
wrong?
immediately to prove them wrong? And I think this, just to narrow it down, him shifting your bounce towards force, I think was him talking about how it would be a great way to honor the legacy of your father by taking up the mantle of what he started. That is him shifting your bounce towards force. And you rolled a 10 against that. So yes, so you're clearing condition. You're asking what their principle is. Their principle, I think this technically is a principle of another NPC, but I like that multiple NPCs can have the same principle because I think it just makes sense. No?
No, I'm just kidding. Every principle has to be unique.
Here we go. Their principle is concealment. Don't feel. Don't let them know. But now they know. Let it go. Let it go.
Conceal, don't feel. Okay. Got it.
And what condition did you clear?
I'm gonna clear troubles. I feel like everything else she would
Beautiful.
probably keep right now.
And in that, through clearing troubled, how does May respond to prove them wrong, to deny that no, this is not the way to honor my father's legacy?
It's not the way to honor me. Oh man, I didn't expect this one. Okay. This was kind of hard because all right.
Yeah, considering what May has just found out and the turmoil.
Yeah.
I know.
And I don't. Dan, are you allowed to tell me whether or not he knows if May knows like Kai's like darkest secrets, I guess you could say. Do you know?
Looking at him, you can't get a read on if he knows.
Okay.
He does seem very genuine. Like you're looking in his eyes and he the look on his eyes and his facial expressions are just the look of a man who sees like a troubled child and is just trying to help in any way that he can.
Okay.
Also, none of you has suspicious mind, so
Yeah.
But you do know his principle's concealment.
And he's also concealment, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how well did you know my father again?
As I've said, May, I've fought side by side with the man, and I've seen his prowess, his strength, and in that time he's spoken of you. He's spoken of Faye, and yeah, I just respect the man. I have a great deal of respect for the man.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. You're still proving me wrong. I'm sorry.
Then you'd know that my father likes to. He's very impulsive and very secretive too. And but he's also a great man who's done a lot of great things for the Fire Nation, for military. Do you think that he would just trust a stranger with the fate of his friend? Let's say it was you that was in that cell. My father, being a great man, great soldier, do you think that he would risk it to a stranger?
You have the wit of, there is no doubt. I think he would probably blast me right where I stand, if we're being honest. You prove a point, May. I guess I'm just blindly, maybe hopelessly asking just for a little bit of your trust. As I said, it's the only way I could even think of to aid in Haru being proven innocent. The only other options being breaking him out, which would mean you guys might end up becoming enemies of the state. And you wouldn't just have to worry about the dangers that your Earth Sage friends probably face in the state of the world that we're in today. Sorry.
What happens if you don't come through?
If I'm
We need to
unable
talk
prove
about
him
that.
innocent,
Yes. Because you're giving me a guarantee that this is the only way. So if you don't pull
yeah.
through,
I've heard of the troubled context of the end of your father's destiny. He is a great man, and it would only make sense that the only thing that could cause him to meet his end would be those that he's created. And I have some inkling of your desire to find your sister again. Am I correct in saying that, May?
what does that have to do if you don't come through?
I'm adding in a new aspect of the deal. Regardless or not, if I come through or not, I will bring you to your sister. I know where she currently resides, in the Fire Nation. I have ships at my disposal. I can take you there to see her.
Again, what happens if you don't come through? What do you do for me?
I'm sure there's more I could do. As I said, escape would be the only other real option.
You're going to help me?
As the sheriff of Tuzin, there are some strings I could pull to make it a little easier for you to help your friend Haru escape. But I think the first option we should take is the legal route.
Either way, you
What do you
bring me
say?
to my sister. Either way.
Either way, he looks in your eyes. He gives like an almost like an understanding like smile as he goes, even just at the mention of her name, May, I can see that you have been longing to see her again. And the way he says that, it's almost, he's saying it in a way where he doesn't think that the reason you want to see her is to get revenge. Like the way he's saying that is like, oh, this sister just wants to see her sister, wants to meet her sister again. So you're thinking like, okay, maybe he doesn't know that, but you also know that his principal's concealment. It is very suspiciously hard to read this man, but you do sense this concerning genuinity in him telling you that he does in fact know where your sister is. So what do you say? Not only does your friend go free, but you finally get to see Faye again.
I reluctantly put out my hand to make a deal. And with that, I'm also going to unmark insecure because I just
Yeah.
took a
Yep.
foolhardy action without talking to the rest of my companions.
Oh yeah. Yep, you did.
What's
And with
foolhardy about that?
With a big smile on his face, Check shakes your hand. And we'll end there. The camera lingers a bit on Check's smiling face as we end. Wow. Very fun.
Wait, can we end on Ling Hung snoring just in the corner?
Yes. Yes. I think at some point
Our
Mohan
stages
wakes
are
up.
asleep.
Mohan wakes up to notice both May and Tetsu are gone, but is too tired to do anything about it, so he just goes back to sleep. Crazy. Oh my god.
That was juicy. I have been waiting for the
episode.
May backstory drama
Yes.
for a while.
Oh, so good.
Wow.
Man, that was hard to play because I was like,
Yeah.
I want to, I'll take it because I want to know what happens. But as May, who's she has trust issues anyway, and then she's also not feeling herself, and she's grumpy.
Wow.
Danny did the perfect GM thing. He gave Meg exactly what she wants.
Yeah. Wow. Well, very excited to see what happens next week. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start
my legal drama.
Legal
my
knowledge. Yeah. This is gonna be. There's something I'm thinking of. I just watched Trial of the Chicago 7, and just how they looked at how unfair the whole trial seemed to be. And I mean, this trial, Mahe being the judge, the jury being the townsfolk of Suzanne, it would have been very not in your guys' favor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But now we don't have to worry about that. So thanks, man.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see.
We have a corrupt lawyer on our side.
It's fine. It's good.
See what
Made the right
happens.
choice for the rest of us.
Wow. Yeah, tune in next week. See what happens with this. Very exciting news. Our next Tales of Izira episode is going to be in person. Yeah, I guess I didn't know that. Yeah, we're
Wait,
for
how?
the first time.
What does that even mean? You're all just two-dimensional to me.
Yeah. We're finally recording something in person, which is crazy.
Mhm.
We made it work.
We're all gonna be able to touch each other while we roll dice.
Oh, and we're gonna touch each other.
Oh, we're gonna touch each other. All right. That's all I have. I'll see y'all next week. Remember, don't get arrested in small towns.
Especially ones where you murdered their mayor.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, Gators.